Okay, guys, I wanted to break down the URC playoffs, who's going to win, who's not, who has the best chances and form. So please stick on with my prediction on who is going to win the URC this year, and let's break it down. So first up, 1 to 4, we have Leinster in first, Bulls second, the Sharks in third, and then Glasgow in fourth. Glasgow obviously dropping quite heavily over recent weeks because of performances, but we are now seeing Glasgow in fourth, where they were in second for a majority of the season, right? But the thing that comes here is the big teams, well, I say your bigger teams, normally in the URC in Leinster and Glasgow, have been playing pretty poor of late. So that's going to be a big shake-up in the playoffs this year, and who's going to potentially win. And then the remainder, we do have Stormers in fifth, Munster in sixth, Edinburgh in seventh, and then the Scarlets squeezing um, in eighth with 48 points, just 1 point difference between them and Cardiff. So this could have been completely different if Cardiff had a slightly better run. But yeah, Scarlets did manage to qualify for the playoffs, which is amazing to see. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting tie because we are going to be seeing, I believe it's Leinster versus Scarlet and so on. So how these teams are going to play out, we don't know. The Scarlets are quite obviously quite a scary team. They did put a number on Glasgow just recently, and now they're going to be up against Leinster. It's a completely different ballgame. But can they do it? Of course they can. Any one of these teams can beat each other on any given day. And when it comes down to the playoffs, same thing with the Champions Cup. It comes down to the day. Who is going to perform better on the day, right? We could see the Scarlets beat Leinster. Likelihood of it happening is pretty low, but it is still a very big possibility. Well, I say very big. I misspoke. It's a small possibility, but there is always a possibility of that happening. But we are seeing teams like Edinburgh, who's found themselves in relatively good form, Munster, the Stormers picking up some pace. And when you have a player like Sasha FM, anything is possible. Anything is possible. So it's going to be interesting to see. We are now seeing Glasgow coming back with more players. We're seeing Sione come back. Obviously, he only did play a portion of the game up against Leinster, but I do feel that that is just a purely tactical decision to take him off so that he is ready, he is fit, because the playoffs is going to be a very difficult time. So they obviously are going to want to be having Sione Tuipulotu and Hugh Jones in the mix, fully fit, ready to go. And you want Tuipulotu to be ready and injury-free, right? So they aren't going to be risking him unnecessarily. So it's going to be interesting to see how Glasgow play in the playoffs, because this is now anybody's game, right? The URC is pretty much play the season, get into the top 8, and then try to find as best form as possible come the back end of the season, which teams like the Bulls and the Sharks have, which is why you are now seeing them in second and third place respectively, right? Leinster are only so far ahead because they had such a ridiculous, I'd say about 70% of the season, right? 70% of the season, they were just unbeatable. Nobody could even touch them until things started to go south. Weird decisions by Leo Cullen, trying to juggle Champions Cup and the URC. He's trying to work things, but made a couple of decisions that didn't pay off. And ultimately, as a head coach, you are going to be making decisions that's not going to make people happy, that are going to be wrong. It just comes down to how long can the fans and the board back you with not getting any return in terms of trophies, right? That's my question for that. So honestly, looking at the teams, I could definitely see the Stormers kind of sneak through a win, potentially up against the Sharks or Glasgow. Honestly, I do feel the Bulls are quite possibly the most informed team in the URC right now. But a team like Munster, you can never, ever underestimate, because they will bite your backside and they will put some serious points ahead of you. Same thing with Edinburgh. We saw what they did. They are quite capable of putting you on your backside and just running rampant. But again, it comes down to who's going to be in best form. Honestly, I feel Glasgow are probably the least informed team going into the playoffs. Leinster, they seem broken. They don't seem to be with it. They don't have that flow. Like as we saw with Leinster versus Glasgow, they were both tactically brilliant in terms of defense, but I don't know if it was because Leinster didn't have Gibson Park, who he's normally that gel, that kind of, he makes everything work between the forwards, the backs, he gets things moving, he dictates pace, he dictates play, his ability to work off of the breakdown and then just start making things happen. The guy is absolutely brilliant. So he knows how to use his kicking game. He knows how to use his passing game. He knows how to hold off, knows when to draw people in. So there are even some people that are that are potentially saying that he might actually be better than Dupont. But honestly, I see them two in the same realm. These two are head and shoulders above the rest, especially at this point in their careers right now. I do feel Dupont and Gibson Park are just a level above everyone else in that nine. But there are some serious talents that are coming through the ranks that are to be scared to be scared of. But ultimately, look, this is going to be a long, tough playoffs. I do feel that we will see a couple upsets, and I am expecting a Stormers and or potentially Edinburgh to upset, a couple people. But ultimately, my prediction for who's going to win the URC is the Bulls. Looking at their play, looking at the form that they've gained in the right time of the season, they're defensively very strong. Yes, no team is perfect. Teams are prone to making mistakes, but they are right now the most informed team in the URC. They are, like I say, they have found form in the best time physically possible. But you look at their attacking play, you look at their defensive work, you look at that physicality. Right now, they have that perfect combination of all three that, is just built on a strong foundation. And then we got to think next year, we are going to see Andre Pollard join the Bulls, which is going to make things even stronger, right? So I do feel this is the Bulls' year for winning the URC. Obviously, you have the big names of your Leinster, your Glasgow. I do feel the Sharks just don't quite have it. I'm from Durban, and I do feel that the Sharks are very much up and down, right? You could get a killer squad, you might not get. But when they're dealing with a team that just works on that pressure, that quick play, like the Bulls have been doing, and that sheer physicality in the scrums and in the rucks, I feel the Bulls have it this year. But anything's possible, 50-50 on any given day. But the way I'm seeing it right now, I am seeing a Leinster, Leinster Bulls final and the Bulls to come through with an edge on a win. An edge because the finals on the day is a different ball game. Leo Cullen is going to be focusing all of his attention on them on that final. So I doubt we're going to see Andrew Porter on the bench. I doubt we're going to be seeing Jordy Barrett on the bench and so on. But guys, let me know what you guys think. Who do you think is going to win the URC? Who are your favorites? And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.